Every Friday at 7 p.m., Punta Cana Hits presents What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, the #1 English talk show in the area, with the best that the Dominican Republic and the rest of the world have to offer. All right. Welcome to What's Up Punta Cana. This is Christy Maggio, and we are back with another episode. And I'm really excited this evening because I have a very special guest. It is someone who, up until like a few weeks ago, I'll be honest, I didn't know who she was. And then Franklin, the station director, manager, owner, says to me, "Hey, do you want to interview Kiki Melendez?" And I'm like, I knew who she was, but I'd heard of her. I knew she was in the films and industry, but I didn't really understand at that point in time what a spectacular woman role model she is. And so I spoke to her briefly, and then I went home. And the next day was Saturday, and I watched her documentary, and I was just like, oh, my Lord. Force of nature, somebody who literally goes out and says, I'm going to do this, and just does it and gets it done. And so I'm excited and honored, actually, to have her here in the studio with me tonight. She's an actress, producer, writer, and she is now about to launch her film and TV company, Los Angeles Film and TV Company, here in the Dominican Republic. And the first movie from that company, Niños de Cristo, which is it's a spectacular movie. And so just reading about it, hearing about it. Welcome, Kiki. I'm so excited to have you here with me.
Thank you so much, Christy. We almost have the same name. I'm Christian, really. That's my real name. So it's kind of close.
Yes, Christian, Christy. My father always called me Christina. So
mira.
Yeah. So tell us about this. I mean, we will go back and we will talk about, what you have done to forge the way for Latino women in the industry, period. But tell us about this new film company and it being here in the DR, and why Los Angeles Film and TV Company.
Well, the first reason I named it Los Angeles was because I love Los Angeles. I mean, that I lived in Los Angeles, Pacific Palisades, as you know. With the fires and everything. Yeah. But I named it about 2 years ago. It was a while ago. I mean, I named it when I first got here, but I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't get it going.
Yep.
And, but I named it Los Angeles because of the love that I have for that city. It gave me so much. It loved me so much. I had so many opportunities, so many breaks, and the people. And and then I said, and it also sounds great in Spanish because it also means the angels.
Exactly.
Los Angeles. So I have two good things there,
Sounds great in both languages.
In both languages. So I loved it because I originally wanted to open Latin Hollywood Films, which is my original company in the United States. We created Hot Tamales Live, all-female comedy. We did Kiki desde Hollywood. We did Locos y Contentos. We did the movie Journey of Female Comic. We worked for BBC. We did, we have a whole bunch of stuff on Peacock, NBC. So the company was always, working. And so that's what I really wanted to name it. I just wanted to open Latin Hollywood Films here. But the name, someone had Hollywood Films and they wouldn't let me, Dominicans for you.
Right.
They wouldn't let me get Latin Hollywood Films, which is totally different than Hollywood.
Exactly.
So I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to think of another name. And that's when I thought of Los Angeles Film and Television.
Nice. Very nice. So, and it, like you said, and sometimes it's really hard to find one of those names that sounds both good in English and in Spanish.
Exactly.
So at least you picked a really good one.
I know. I love it.
So tell us about this first film that is going to be coming out, Niños de Cristo. And where did it come from? How did it start in your heart? Where and how is it being produced?
Well, the great thing is when I came here to Dominican Republic during the pandemic, and my main reason, because we were living in Pacific Palisades, and my main reason was let's save money. You know, we could rent our home and we can save money by living in Punta Cana, and also my main reason was for my girls to learn Spanish, to to speak it. I mean, they know it, but I wanted them to get more fluent. And of course, the whole family was against it.
Of course.
Of course. And then once they got here, they're like, "Oh my God, Mom, what a great idea you had, to come here." So we were able to live here for a little bit over a year. And I had made a promise a long time ago before I had my twins, because I lost my first child. I lost my first pregnancy after 7 weeks. And they had told me I could not have any children.
Wow.
So they said to me, because of my age, I'm not telling anyone my age. So
nobody needs to know. Did not matter.
At the time. And they were like, "You're not going to be able to like really have kids." So I'm like, what? I was devastated. Sure. So I went to church and I made a promise, and I said, "Please, God, if you give me just one pregnancy, or for every pregnancy that you give me, I will adopt a child."
Wow.
And, just thought nothing of it. So 4 months later, after the surgery, because I had to have fibroids removed from my uterus. So 4 months after surgery, taking every human precaution you could possibly take, because I could have died if I got pregnant before the healing took place.
Right.
Every human precaution that you could possibly do as a human not to get pregnant. All 4 of them. Okay, we're not going to go into detail.
Oh, my.
I find out I'm pregnant with twins.
Wow.
And my husband and I were like, I still get goosebumps all over my body. We were like, I was thinking today, because, I've been thinking about the subject since I just wrote the script. But I was like, wow, my children were real miracle babies. Like, they were such miracles. Because we were shocked. We're like, how? How could this possibly be? My what is it called? My doctor, my OBGYN, she called my husband super sperm. Whatever you would call it. You go, "Here comes super sperm."
Right.
Nobody could believe it, because I told my doctor, I go, how could this happen?
Divine intervention.
Divine intervention. So I felt so bad for so many years, because I did not complete my promise. And it was always in the back of my head. Oh, I'm so upset. I didn't do it. How could I? This was such a miracle. How could I not adopt a kid?
Right.
But finances.
Yeah.
You're living in California paying so much money for a home, and then you got 2 kids that everything is at the same time,
Yes, of course.
And it was just so overwhelming. And then I was always working, and it's not like here, thank God, here we can actually have help. But
right.
in California and in the United States, you just don't have that luxury. So I just couldn't stop long enough to adopt. So when we came here, I wasn't thinking of adopting, because I was like, I'm too old for this,
Right.
But I said, I made a point, Rafael Toro, my friend Rafael Toro, and his wife, Maylene Macías Toro, they were volunteers at Niños de Cristo, Niños y Niñas de Cristo, which is an orphanage in La Romana. So she says, "Oh, why don't you come? Why don't you come visit?" And I go, "Oh my God, this is my opportunity to at least volunteer at an orphanage."
Right.
And then I talked the girls into teaching English
Nice.
at the orphanage.
Perfect.
And I literally hired teachers to teach them how to teach the English, so it was real professional.
Yeah.
Bought the books for everyone, I did it the real thing.
Nice.
And then when we first got to the orphanage, all these kids were, introducing themselves. And this little frail boy, 13 years old, Nathaniel, all the kids are saying, "Hi, my name is, so-and-so, and I want to be a singer. And my name is Carlos, and I want to be a baseball player." And everybody's just, saying all these things. And then this little kid goes, "Hi, my name is Nathaniel, and I just want a great dad." And it's just like, I go, "Oh my God, I'm in love with this kid." Because my husband is the greatest dad in the world. Like, he's such a great dad. And I looked at my girls and I'm like, "Oh my God, we could actually make this kid's dream come true. Like, we have the power to make this kid's dream come true." So, of course, my husband was totally against it. It was constant fighting. "What are you, crazy?" Blah, blah, blah. And I was crazy because I didn't realize the paperwork. And how long it takes. I thought, really? I'll adopt him, and then we'll just go to the U.S. whenever we're ready. I got stuck here. I couldn't go anywhere.
Oh, my goodness.
I had to let my girls go back to school, and I had to stay. And because of him, I'm still here.
Wow.
That's why I'm still here.
Oh, my goodness.
I was not planning to be here.
Now, that's divine intervention even of itself. If you could... Like, I don't know. God's timing is perfect. So,
Yeah.
You know, it's wow. So you did.
I did it. But it wasn't as a beautiful, perfect little story. He's 13 years old, lots of baggage.
Sure.
So in this particular docu-film, because it's not really a documentary, it's a docu-film.
Yeah.
I talk about all the countries with the worst statistics in Latin America for homeless and, orphan children. And then I said, I don't want a movie that's just depressing. So I decided to put my story with him, which is, it's so, it's a film.
Yeah.
It's like it's called Adopting Nathaniel within the movie.
Wow.
And, I just read it for him last night because I said I have to get your permission because it's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
And the triumph and everything. And he was so proud. And he said, "You did not say one lie." Even when I was, sharing the truth about the relationship and the good and the bad. And he was like, it was so awesome. Because he said, and then in the movie, after I do, like, let's say all the scenes with him, I have him telling us how he felt at that moment. So last night, I didn't write it, what he was going to say, because I don't know what he's going to say. So I go, "Okay, so this is the first scene where we finally tell you we're going to adopt you. How did you feel?" And he said to me, "I used to stay up in the orphanage thinking, oh, I wish I had a family. I wish I had a family. And I used to beg God, and I used to beg God. And that night I said, for the first time, there is a God." It was the first time that I realized that there really is a God. I literally taped it because I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
He's like, and I was like, oh, it was so something that you can't even write.
No.
It's something that,
It's something you feel, like when you went to the orphanage and he said, "My name is Nathaniel, I wish I had a father." What period of time between that day and the time that you went back to tell him that you were going to?
It was so fast because I guess the orphanage wanted to get rid of him.
Please take him over.
But so what happened was his mom is still alive. So when you have an orphan with parents it's kind of a little, sometimes, in this case, it was easier because the orphanage was able to go to her, say, "Someone really wants your child." And then she has to go to Konani and ask for him, to the center for...
Yeah.
And then, so she asks for him, then she gets him, and then she gives him to me and signs off. Like, basically, like, what do you call that? Like,
like a...
custody.
Yes, custody. Right.
But legally, he's still not my kid. I just have legal custody.
Right.
So that kind of went pretty fast. I mean, we had him living with us like 4 months after we met him.
Wow.
And the thing that takes the longest is at the actual, legal adoption and then trying to get him to the United States.
Yes.
That's what takes so long.
Yes.
So we were able to live with him pretty quickly after we met him. And
now, how old are your daughters?
My daughters they're 20.
Oh,
When they came here with me in 2020, they were 15.
oh yeah. I guess like
We
seems
forget
like
that it's
I
2025,
know, right?
man.
Like what
The
happened?
days are going so
Right?
fast. I mean, I'm like, what? We're already at the end of January.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so now they're 20, and but is Nathaniel's how old? 18.
So Nathaniel was a year younger. I adopted him when he was 13 going on 14. And then my daughters were 15. So they were very close in age, and I wanted it that way. I didn't want to have a baby.
Right.
Because
But
I'm
now-
too old for that.
But now he's 18.
Yeah, he's 19.
19.
Yeah, so now we could share his story. He can
Yes.
share his story.
Yes.
I can share it. But I wanted him to make sure that he was going to be okay
Sure.
with it.
Of course.
And I'm very happy. Last night, we went through the whole script with all his friends. And I also invited his very close friends. And I said, I want you to tell him how you feel.
Yeah.
And they all said that it was great.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm
Incredible.
doing something so amazing.
Yes.
I am also, I have all these kids that, kind of like in the neighborhood. And they all knew I was in the business of entertainment. So everyone's like, oh, I'm a singer. I want to write a song. I want people to know my music. And there's a couple of them that are incredibly talented. So I started saying to them, read the script, write a song for the movie.
And this could be your shot.
And this, and I'm going to make sure that we do a music score. And 24 hours later, you want to hear?
Yeah, let's
wanna
hear
hear the
it.
first
Let's
one?
hear what that.
The first one comes from Alejandro. He's called, you could probably find him on,
Instagram?
yeah. He is Alejandro DLS. That's what he goes by, DLS. DLS. And he read the script last night. And he sends me these beautiful words in Spanish. And basically, it's about so many children want a family. So many parents want a child. And he goes, value everything that you have and stay away from the bad, from the bad camino. I'm translating while I read this. I'm good. Damn, I'm good.
From the bad way.
Right. Yeah. And he goes, God will always come, God will always be with you in the good and the bad. Do not be friends with evil. Never go down that road. Esta historia, recuérdala. Oh, this story, remember it and learn it. And then life is good. We have to appreciate it. We have to learn to be victorious. Time will come, time will go, and you won't notice. After a while, you suffer the consequences of your actions, basically. So this is the meaning of this song. So look at, sorry.
Oh. Muchos niños queriendo familia, muchos padres queriendo un hijo. Valora todo lo que tengas y no vayas por un mal camino. Dios siempre está contigo, de lo malo no seas amigo. Nunca vayas por ese camino. En esta historia recuérdele, aprende que la vida es buena y hay que apreciarla. Y hay que aprender cómo poder valorarla. El tiempo vuela y no te das cuenta.
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
The movie inspired this in 24 hours.
Y hay que apreciarla, y hay que aprender cómo poder valorarla.
Alejandro DSL.
Wow.
Después al rato sufre
Incredible.
las consecuencias.
But it's so good.
I mean,
24 hours he did that.
inspiration. I mean, that's like not even mixed or anything. He just. So he sent me the words. I go, oh, I wonder what the music's going to sound like. And 5 minutes later, he sends
He's
me.
like, here you go. Ask and ye shall receive. There you have it. Wow.
And I feel, I was like, when I read the words, I'm like, I kind of got teary eyed. And then when he sent it to me, I was like, oh my God, I'm crying. This is like, just to think how you can inspire. And then by me inspiring him, he's inspiring
Yeah.
so many
Other people. So many other people and so many other young people as well. And I think that's really a huge piece of a lot of things going on today is trying to find that point of inspiration for the younger generation.
Yes. And that's why I decided to do this with all these artists. I have so many friends. I have another friend. Her name is Sonia Hudson, Donnie Hudson. They have a really talented daughter called Olivia Hudson. So I told her, I'm going to listen, Olivia, read the script, write me a song, you know? That's all they want. They just want an opportunity, you know?
Of course.
And I'm just doing that with like, you know, kids that I know have talent,
of course.
Know, kids that, and then, you know, one of the things that was really hard about writing the script was because I want to show like the homeless children and orphan children situation in Latin American countries, right? So I did my own independent research, and it is by order of severity: Colombia, Mexico, Dominican Republic is in third place, El Salvador, Honduras, and Brazil. Wow. And someone told me Bolivia is probably number one, but they don't even have numbers there. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
So I want to cover all these places, right? And I'm like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to talk about the different countries and then tell the story, the adopting Nathaniel? And the script was all over the place.
Right.
You know, I was like doing Dominican Republic, then I was doing then I was come back to Dominican Republic. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting confused, and I'm the writer. So I literally sat on my balcony, and I go, God, just use me to write it. Just use my hands to write it.
Wow.
And it came to me. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with all of the Dominican Republic. You're going to set up your story, set up the adopting Nathaniel story. And then you're going to go to Colombia. When you come back, you're going to go back to the film. You're going to go to Mexico. When you come back, you're going to go back to the film. So the film is basically the glue of the entire documentary.
Wow.
So you get to you're being entertained and you're being inspired and you're being everything. And then you get to see like a real adoption and the highs and the lows and the and the, you know,
everything.
And everything. So I had no idea if this was going to work because this is not technical screenwriting format.
Right.
So I'm like, oh my God, is this gonna work? And so I was like so scared to have someone read it. So the first person that read it was my main star, Emily Tosta. She's gonna narrate. She's from Mayan MC. You know, she's from the Gringo That Stole Christmas, Party of Five, Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage, you know, and she's half Dominican and half Venezuelan.
Wow.
So she was the first person to read it. And actually her mom, Emilia, was the first to read it. And then they both reached out and they go, oh my God, Kiki, this is so amazing. And I was like, really? I was like in shock. They go, oh, we love it. And then every single person that has read it loves it. And I have people in the US that actually want to come here to do it because they love it so much.
Wow.
The power of God.
Yes.
I do not even give myself credit.
No.
I really don't. And I laugh when I'm not, you're never going to see me at church on a Sunday because I can't get up in the mornings. But I am
There's other ways.
I'm the most faithful person.
Yeah. It's a day in a day out thing, you know? Like you have those that are only Sunday people, but when it goes in, day out, morning, noon, night, like that's the kind of person that you have to be.
And I know some people that go, how could you give credit to God? You were the one that worked so hard. And I'm like, oh my God, you're lost. You are so lost. The most joyous. I am so grateful.
You are the vehicle, right?
To
and
serve
you're doing
him.
His work.
I'm only here to serve him.
Yes. Yes.
Everything else is bullshit.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I think that's a new quote.
I love it.
I'm only here to serve God.
Him.
Everything else is bullshit.
I love it. That is a
Kiki
good
Melendez.
one. Yes.
Keep that quote.
Check. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing in this coming week.
Oh, yeah. We're going to the Global Film Festival. They're very supportive. I love them. I want to give a shout out to the Hesine for helping me get the funding for this movie, and SEPEM, and so many people. Some of the biggest corporations here have supported the movie. And so I'm going to be just, starting. I mean, I'm in pre-production. We start rolling on Friday.
Wow.
So my last party for a while is on Friday con el Cine Global.
Wow.
Omar de la Cruz.
Nice.
Thank you so much. And Fernandez.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? No, Omar de la Cruz. El presidente Fernández, el ex-presidente Fernández. El Funglode. It's all Funglode.
Wow. Wow.
So it'll be fun, and I'm going to get to see a whole bunch of, people. I'm very excited about it.
Good.
So.
Yes. And so Friday it's after Friday you start filming.
Yes.
And so what is the timeline looking like?
Scary. I have no life.
That's okay, because it's sometimes people are like,
another
wow,
time that I need God to help me.
right? You work so hard. Well, but it's something that you love. So yes, it's going to be, you're going to be very occupied for a long time. But, in the production of it all, I mean, a lot of people don't understand or realize the concept of all of the work that has to go in behind the scenes before you can even roll a camera.
Oh my God.
So can you share that a little bit with us?
Well, I literally had my assistant here with me walking with my computer, doing work while I talk to you that I have to get done. But, it's incredibly grueling, especially me. Like I should be a millionaire for all the work I do. My God. I mean, I'm literally the writer of this project. Mm-hmm. I fundraised this project. So I executive produced. Mm-hmm. And I'm also the director. Mm-hmm. So everyone was like, you should be in it. We want you to be in it. I'm like, girl, if I had an ego, like, an ego trip.
Right.
I would totally do this part because it's so perfect,
Right.
But I got a beautiful actress, Marta Gonzalez. She's going to play me in the movie. She's an incredible actress. She was in The Fanatic with John Travolta. Mm-hmm. She's a great support, great person. And then I have a Cuban actress who was in Zorro and Bad Boys 2.
Okay.
Her name is Evelyn Hiro. She used to be a Cuban supermodel. So all those women are really supporting me, like 150%.
Nice.
Like really, really supportive women. Amazing what we can do when we support each other.
Yes.
And I have great producers like Maylene Macias Toro, who knows the orphanage and knows all the stories that we need to cover, and Julia Carias Linares. Mm-hmm. They just did an American. I forget the name of the documentary there, but it was really successful about the Black female vote. Mm-hmm. I forgot. I think it's called. I forgot the name of it. I wish I could remember. But anyway, so they are part of the team, the Golden Team, and then I have producers like Alan Solis and Frank Drucker, who has an incredible resume. So all these people are really supporting, really backing me up, really. Nice. And, I'm working with El Estudio de Caltrain, with Carmen Rodriguez, and Flor Peña. So it's a really great team of support. And so I feel like I got this, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have that family, that group, that core group behind you that you're just like, I'm just going to go.
Of course, my husband, the first thing he says is, I'm so glad I'll be working so I don't have to so I don't have to be here. Thanks.
It's okay. It's okay. But so in doing that and getting, I mean, so let's have everybody here understand who, if they don't already know who Kiki Melendez is, because you have this core group of people, you have this support of people because of the hard work, determination, persistence of what you did prior to now that allowed you to pave your own way. You opened your own doors. I said to Franklin the other day, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like if the door wouldn't open, like she literally crawled through the window. Like that's how I felt when I, like it did not matter. So you've created such inspiration for so many people because of who you are and what you've done. Because for me, the most important part that I love about you is that you don't wait for someone to give you the opportunity.
Oh,
you
that's
make
for damn
your
sure.
opportunity.
If I would have waited, I'd be dead.
Well,
I would. Nobody.
Yeah.
I'm serious because the problem with me is that I love acting. I love it. I love it. I love it. But listen to this. This is the reality. Okay, so I'm a Latina, which is already a minority. Then you go to a place like California, and you're Dominican, which is another minority because you have to be Mexican if you're Latina in California to get any work. And then I'm taller than most leading men because most leading men are 5'2" and 5'7".
Well, that's out.
And then it was so funny because when I went blonde by pure accident. Someone in Hollywood Boulevard, actually, I had to do a show and my hair looked like crap. And I said, oh my God, I need a wig that looks like my hair. And she goes, try this. I go, this is the new thing, ombre. I'm like, no, are you crazy? I'm not blonde. And she made me try it on. I put it on and was like, oh my God, you look beautiful. And I said, you know what? I look younger. Like the lighter color looks down. So I started going blonde, right? And my agent's like, you're killing me. No one's gonna hire an Afro-Latina with blonde hair. And I go, I don't give a shit at this point. I don't care.
I love it. You're just like, whatever.
Exactly. I don't care anymore.
I've got enough strikes against me. What's one more?
I remember when I was single, I dated one of the most powerful advertising agency executives in New York. And he was such a sweet guy. He really wanted to help me out. He goes, oh, I got this huge campaign for Burger King. And we get to choose, the lead and there's there's a female lead and we're going to push for you. And then he was so sure I was going to get it, right? So he came back totally deflated. He goes, the client said nobody that looks like you would eat at McDonald's.
Oh my.
I mean, I'm sorry, Burger King. It was Burger King. He goes, no one that looks like you will eat. And I'm like, damn, I can't get a break. I can't get
my Lord. Okay, then.
Because that's how this business is. It's like everything is like, oh my God.
It's against you. It's against you. And that's really the unfortunate. I mean, it is a cutthroat world.
It really is. I was supposed to be the Latina Oprah in the United States of America. It's in my documentary, everything that happened.
Yep. Everything.
Yeah. Everything.
And so I highly recommend the documentary if anybody's out there.
Yes, it's on Peacock, NBC, and YouTube.
Yes, it is.
Journey of a Female Comic. La trayectoria de una comediante.
Yes.
And it's dual language translation, bilingual. And I was so proud of it. You know that it's in the Oscar Library for Motion Picture Study because of the duality, the way I was able to produce that in both languages. And nobody misses a beat. Like if you don't speak English, you don't miss a beat. And if you don't speak Spanish.
I found that fascinating. Like you were just bing, like just back and forth. It just, you know, it was quite impressive. And, you know, it was great because you knew exactly when and when to turn it on and where you needed it.
I know. I've always had that gift for some reason.
Yeah. Like,
For
I
some
mean,
reason.
you could notice that.
Well, you know, when Galavisión gave me Kiki desde Hollywood, you know, oh my God, I love him. He was, I love him so much. Javier Saralegui. I think he's related to Christina Saralegui, but he was running Galavisión, and he says, Kiki, I want something for the young people. I want young, and I was like early 30s. And he goes, I don't want this. And, you know, we tried all English and it's not working. And we tried this and it's not working. And I said, how about bilingual? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, bilingual. He goes, that's how we talk in California. That's how we talk. That's how Latinos talk. And he goes, no, I don't understand what you mean. I go, okay, let me explain it to you. Cuando tú estás hablando en español and you see that people ya lo está perdiendo, then and I started to like do it right on the spot. He goes, let's do it.
Yes.
And it, you know, it was such a huge hit. It was huge. That show was huge, and I got an NBC deal because of that show.
Well, you were able to cross into 2 markets, and you were able to do it at a time where nobody else did it.
Yeah.
So like it was non-existent. So you were able.
I've done a lot of historical things, but no one's gonna give me credit. I'm gonna leave one of my friends. I want you to put the first bilingual entertainment show in America, the first all-female comedy show in America, the first all-female stand-up show in República Dominicana, Reinas de la Risa. Yes. I mean, the first female morning show host in Los Angeles and New York. Nobody knows. These are things that I've done and nobody knows. And of course, I can't go around saying it, but.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I just did.
You earned it. You earned that right.
And I'm still broke. How does that happen?
Well, you know, I don't know. But the day is coming.
Yes.
The day is coming. Yes. So, and this is going to this movie will hopefully
Well, no, this is definitely not going to be the one.
It won't be the one, but it will lead to the one.
Because thank you. I prayed from
my mouth to God's
from your
ears.
microphone to God's iPad.
Yes.
But
I love that.
But whatever this movie makes is going to the orphans.
Of course.
I'm not making this movie and getting anything, you know, and selling it and putting it in my pocket.
Right.
It's going to the orphans.
Yep. Yeah.
And of course, now it'll make millions of dollars because it's not going to me.
And that's okay.
Murphy's Law.
it will come to you. It will.
Yeah.
But my question is like, how do you decide what orphans the money goes to? Because, you know, a lot of times there's all these organizations, all these great things going on, all this stuff, but to make sure and ensure that it goes where you exactly want it to go.
Well, because Niños y Niñas de Cristo Foundation were the inspiration and the support, and they have been there for this movie. And, you know, they basically made this movie with me. They gave me access to all the children, not, you know, that had gone through the system, that were now adults.
Oh.
So they allowed me to do research. And they have a very functional, you know, orphanage, which has, you know, children, you know, what do you call it? Boys and girls.
Yes.
So, and they're functional, you know, they've proven to be functional. So it depends on how much the movie makes. I mean, if it makes really great money, they have no problem, you know, spreading it among the countries, you know?
Yeah.
You know, making a donation to all the countries that we can. So they're very giving. They just really wanted something that tells the story and that they could.
Of course. You know. Of course. I think that it is unfortunately a huge issue all over the world today. Even in the United States. I mean, the number of homeless kids that exist for being a first world country. It should not be that way. What is it that you hope will ultimately help, other than awareness? Because a lot of times people see these types of things and like, yeah, that's really sad, and then they go about their business and do their, go about their day. What do you hope that ultimately the goal that helps make it bigger than just, okay, I'm aware?
Well, I remember when I came to Dominican Republic, I noticed that there is a disconnect. The society here has disconnected from the need. And I remember I did a fundraiser, a GoFundMe for the orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of rich family and a lot of rich friends. Not $1 came from the Dominican Republic for an orphanage that is around the corner from them. Not one.
Yeah. It's hard here. It's hard raising money.
And
anywhere, it's hard.
Anywhere. And we raised thousands and thousands of dollars, and it was from New York and Los Angeles, from my friends in New York and Los Angeles, and our friends. So I was very shocked. I was like, I have to do something about this. I have to put it in people's faces. I want to give I want people to see these kids and see them again as humans.
Of course. And I think, and I think what you just said is very correct, because, I was, during COVID, was supposed to build a new school. And then, I was talking to the wife of,
all the richest people,
an affluential person. And she says, there's no problem with our education system, and our children are all of our children are educated and go to school. And I said, okay. I wasn't going to argue with her. Obviously it's not my place, but I mean, I'm sure her children are going to a well-paid private school, but like, I'm thinking to myself, is it that different in Santo Domingo than here? It's probably worse there than here. Than that she's not aware of what's really going on. And I think you're right. I think there's that I don't know where the disconnect comes from, but I think that some people are just, they don't look outside the box, maybe.
Yeah. So I want all the countries. I want to make a difference for the future, of our children. And I think that this movie's gonna, there's gonna be such beautiful stories that people are gonna, make a difference. People will make a difference.
And I think on the other side of it too is maybe for those kids who are in the orphanage right now, who maybe see the movie afterwards, I don't know, or the adults. Like, there are a lot of adults who are very successful today, who came from really difficult, broken home, broken situations, and have risen and created great things for themselves in multiple different industries. Not just fame. It's not just about being famous or a celebrity. I mean, that they've just become successful in multiple different industries. That I think that hopefully too, it will be inspirational for them to say,
I can do it. I can do it.
Yes.
And I feel like a little orphaned myself, even though I had a loving family, but my mother and my father didn't raise me. By the time that I got to know my mom, I was 6 years old. And I saw my dad, I think, once or twice while I was here in Dominican Republic. So in a sense, I feel that I was an orphan, even though I had a loving, home. But like my aunt that was raising me, she was going to med school. Then my grandmother, who was loved me more than anything in the world, passed when I was 3. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, so
that stable. It's not like you had a stable for 6 years of your life, and I think that even in that, in and of itself, what a lot of people may not understand is that I know I have another Dominican friend. She's also in the United States now, but her mom had to leave to also go to the United States, and she was raised in Mocha with a different family. Like her dad was there, absent. She had a terrible experience, but at the same time, then at 15 she went to the United States, and I mean, this is the reality for many Dominican children.
Many.
Because in order to
even here in Dominican Republic, like I've had, servicio,
Mm-hmm.
and they have kids, and they have to technically leave their kids
Mm-hmm.
to come and work
Mm-hmm.
so they can support them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, they're not there. They
Right.
go 4 or 5 days.
Yes. Without being there. And then they're being raised by another family member, their grandmother, grandfather, and that's the reality.
Yeah.
And that is the reality. But I guess if there's love, then
Well, it was so funny because when I first got to New York, I used to constantly be asking my mother, "Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me?" Like it was like constant. And she goes, "Yes, I love you." like all
like,
the Dominicans, like,
"Okay."
leave me the hell alone already.
oh my gosh, that's funny. So those first 6 years of your life were here. What was it that you said, okay, or your mom said, I'm going to bring you to the United States to at that point in time? What was the okay, now I'm ready to bring my daughter to the United States? Where did that
Well, it
come
was all
from?
that. It was all paperwork, because you have to go through so much paperwork, and then my father had to sign off that he'd let me go.
Okay.
And then it's just all paperwork. It's like that's what I found with when I adopted Nathaniel. It's like there's a lot of paperwork you have to do before, and now it's gotten even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like they don't consider a child a minor until they're. I'm sorry.
An adult.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to explain this. When you bring a child, when they're a minor, it's much easier to bring them to the United States because someone has to take care of them.
Uh-huh.
So now that cutoff is 16. It used to be 18.
Yeah.
So now at 16, they're no longer a minor. And so the paperwork is like after 16 is as if they were adults.
Okay.
So it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And it's gotten worse. And I'm sure it'll get worse now with President Trump. It's going to get a lot worse.
A lot more, I don't know, dot your I's and cross your T's, so to speak. So in thinking about your legacy, right? Because, we all want to be remembered for something that we did, that we've done, that we still will do. What is that? I know right now what you're doing is probably a huge passion project. What is something else that you would love to be able to accomplish?
Well, I wish I could. I have really great ideas, and I know they're really, everything I try to do, like I try to make a difference,
Yes.
I have faith-based movies that I'd love to be able to make.
Uh-huh.
I have a show called Win It to List It, which is a real estate competition show, like the World Cup for realtors.
No.
I have so many great projects that I think would really revolutionize entertainment and would really be amazing. I have another idea called Worldwide Fashion Week, and so I have great ideas, and I just wish I had the money to make them.
You will.
It's the business. Like, okay, this is something about the entertainment business.
Mm-hmm.
They will give billions of dollars to someone, but they won't give the people, like, if it's supposed to be creative, it's supposed to be artistic. And if you see that someone has the talent and the art and has proven themselves ratings wise and whatever, like, give them a chance, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
They just keep, it seems like a lot
the
of times they just
same
keep
people.
remaking the same
Yeah,
thing
it's the same
over and
people.
over and over. And it's like, hello,
I know.
let's get fresh here.
Exactly.
Let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But and I think in my heart, and that's what's being told to me right now, is that this is going to be the catalyst for that.
Oh, thank
So-
you, honey. It feels like it. You know, it's so funny because last year I had a huge deal with a huge studio to do it. And I thought, that's going to be my big break. That's going to happen, because it was so close. And then unfortunately, the company, you know, had a huge, you know, financial setback. But I'm talking about one of the biggest
Yeah.
in the U.S. And so I was devastated. You know, I was just absolutely devastated. And I never, you know, I was pushing for Niños de Cristo, but it was never thinking that it was going to make me anything, you know. It wasn't going to make me any money. So I thought, oh, this is so great. I'll get this, and then I'll be able to actually do Niños de Cristo with the money that I make from this. You know, I won't even have to wait.
Right.
And then it's like it turned around, you know. And now this is first. You see what I mean?
Yes. Well, you know, I am of the belief that everything happens for a reason, and again, everything's in perfect timing. So you don't know why now, but eventually 5 years down the road, you'll say, aha. So if it didn't happen this way, it wouldn't have ended up the way that it should be.
But the one thing that's really great is that if I die, God forbid, after making this film, I will have lived.
Yes.
I don't care. I will feel like I have accomplished my mission. It's,
Amazing.
You know, I will leave a beautiful legacy.
Yeah, yes. I mean, you already have, even before, like, this is a huge project for you. But even before that, anybody who doesn't know you, who comes across you and looks into you just a little bit, will stop and say, wow, she did a lot for so many women to break through so many Latina women to break through barriers, but not just that, but even inspirational for all women, in the sense of, I'm going to go back to, I just love the fact that you don't wait for the opportunity to come to you if it's not there. You always create the opportunity. And yeah, you're knocking down a lot of doors. You're knocking and knocking and knocking. And like I said, the door didn't open, you crawled through a window. And if that didn't open, then you were just like, okay, then I guess we're just going to do it right here where I am. So to me, in what I do, what young people need to hear, what people in general need to hear, is that don't wait for someone to validate you. If you want to do it, do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have to create your own opportunities. I think one of the things I love most about my talents is to write. I could write.
Nice.
Because my production company, I can write. I can create. I don't have to buy it from someone else.
Right.
I don't have to buy the intellectual property from someone
Right.
else.
And
you know, when I want something from someone, I can actually write a letter and convince them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I feel that writing is one of the best skills and that I have. It's incredibly valuable, even though they don't value writers as much as they should.
right.
You know, I just love when, like, you write, you're like in your house for hours. And let me tell you, when you're writing, it is like you ran a marathon, because your brain has to be every character that you're writing.
Yep. It's not an easy task.
It's not easy. And you have to be that character in order to write for that character, what that character's gonna say. So it's like this mental gymnastics that knocks you out. And a lot of people don't know that. And sometimes, like when I finish writing a script, I literally start crying. Like if I just, released. And it's happened to me, every time I finish a script, I just start bawling for like a whole day.
Yeah, I mean, because that's a lot inside. You're living that script. But how do you let it go? Like, how do you let it go? Like, I mean, obviously you have to be in that. Like when you write, do you do it at a point where no one can bother you? Like nobody can interject?
I'm a very weird writer. Okay, so first of all, I cannot get in the mood until I get in the mood. Like I have deadlines and I'm like, oh my God, I have to write this, I have to write this, I have to write. So I cannot force myself. But once I'm in the mood, I can do it. I can write a script in a week.
Wow.
Yeah. This script, I almost like it was like, I mean, I can't say I wrote in a week because I revised it.
Well, yes, but I mean, when you sat down, the raw edition, the raw script of what you wrote was in a week.
The revision, which was a huge revision because I started with the script only covering Dominican Republic. And it wasn't until I said, I need this to go more global. And there are more countries that need this. So, so I had to rewrite it. Because it was only about Dominican Republic to be at first. And now it became about Latin American countries. That's a lot. That's a big difference.
Big difference. Well, Kiki, an hour has passed. And
oh my God, really?
Yes.
Jeez, that
and
went
it doesn't even seem like an hour has passed. But I want to thank you so much for being here. This has been a great pleasure. And I just wish you all the best in this, and I know that we'll have you back here again after the tour, because then you're gonna have the premiere coming on, and so of the new film, and I can't wait to see it and build a relationship and have you come visit my school too.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Thank you for your kindness and for being woman power. Yes. Women power.
Yes, all about the women. All about the women. Sorry, Franklin, you're out. But thank you, everybody, for tuning into What's Up Punta Cana with Christy Maggio. Until next time, bye
Kiki
for
kiss.
now.
Mwah. Oh yeah, you cut me off.
Reach for more with stories that open every door. What's up? Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, right here for you. Where passion meets success, inspiring dreams come true. From entrepreneurs to hidden gems, each story shows what life can lend. Tune into 90.3, feel the vibe, get inspired too. What's up, Punta Cana, bringing dreams to you. Are you ready to dream, to reach for more? With stories that open every door. What's up, Punta Cana with Christy Maggio, right here for you. What passion meets success, inspiring dreams come true. From entrepreneurs to hidden gems, each story shows what life can lend. Tune into 90.3, feel the vibe, get inspired too. What's up, Punta Cana, bringing dreams to you. To hidden gems, each story shows what life can lend. Tune into 90.3, feel the vibe, get inspired too. What's up, Punta Cana, bringing dreams to you.
Every Friday at 7 p.m., Punta Cana Hits presents What's Up